The alien delegation shrieked in terror at the tiny winged beast perched on the human child's shoulder. When the auditorium erupted into chaos, 12-year-old Isaac Murray realized his pet dragon Sparky had escaped his backpack and was now the center of a world-ending diplomatic catastrophe. What started as an interspecies summit had devolved into bedlam as the dragon's sudden appearance sent the reptilian Sari screeching and the golden-furred Eliani leaping from their seats. Unbeknownst to the panicked delegates, Sparky's mischievous nature belied the true danger lurking in the shadows, a Zixian infiltrator plotting to exploit the confusion and conquer the planet Concord. As his mother Amanda, the human ambassador, struggled to restore order, Isaac watched the furor escalate with rising dismay. Rumors swirled that Sparky was a secret genetic weapon, while demands rang out to contain the dangerous, uncontrollable beast. Baffled and frustrated, the humans argued that Sparky was merely a harmless pet. But their protests fell on deaf ears as tensions reached a boiling point. With a sinking heart, Isaac suddenly realized Sparky had once again vanished from sight. Fear prickled his spine as he wondered where his wayward dragon might be, and what new disaster he could unwittingly trigger in his wake. For if the Zixian infiltrator succeeded in sabotaging Concord's defenses, the repercussions would be catastrophic, not only for the squabbling delegates, but for the fate of the galaxy itself. Isaac's heart raced as he darted through the Concord Convention Center, his eyes scanning every corner for a glimpse of shimmering blue scales. Sparky had vanished, and with each passing minute, the sick feeling in Isaac's gut grew. He could still hear the angry shouts echoing from the main auditorium, the alien delegates' outrage over the dangerous beast that had disrupted their summit. In the council chambers, Ambassador Amanda Murray struggled to maintain order as accusations flew. The avian Rakari ambassador, Zephyr Windcaller, slammed a talon on the table. "This is an outrage. Humans cannot be trusted to control their creations. That creature should never have been allowed here." Solaris, the golden-furred Eliani, rose to her feet, her voice sharp. "Humanity must contain this threat. If they cannot control their own pets, how can we trust them with matters of galactic importance?" As the debate raged on, Isaac slipped away from the chaos, determined to find Sparky before things escalated further. He headed for the restricted area housing the ambassador's private quarters, hoping his wayward dragon might have sought refuge there. Isaac dodged security patrols, his heart pounding as he searched for a way in. A ventilation shaft caught his eye, just big enough to crawl through. With a deep breath, he pried open the grate and wriggled inside. The shaft was dark and narrow, but Isaac pressed on, driven by desperation. As he neared the ambassador's suites, he heard a series of crashes and angry shouts. He quickened his pace, following the noise. Isaac dropped out of the vent into a dimly lit corridor, his shoes hitting the polished floor with a soft thud. To his left, a door burst open, and a group of insectoid Zixian drones swarmed out, their metallic appendages whirring. In their midst, covered in green slime, was Sparky. Before Isaac could react, a sleek figure darted past him. In a flash of tawny fur, Ambassador Zara Quickclaw snatched up the little dragon, shielding him from the drones. She fixed Isaac with a piercing gaze. "Explain yourself, human child. Why do you intrude upon my quarters?" Isaac's mouth went dry. He met Zara's eyes, his voice shaking. I'm sorry, Ambassador. That's my pet dragon, Sparky. He escaped during the summit. I was just trying to find him before he caused any more trouble." Zara's tail twitched, her expression unreadable. She glanced at the Zixian drones, who had fallen back but still hovered menacingly. "And these drones? Why do they pursue your pet with such hostility?" "I don't know," Isaac admitted. "Sparky's mischievous, but he's not dangerous. He wouldn't hurt anyone." The Leonix ambassador eyed the slime-covered dragon, a flicker of curiosity in her gaze. Her claws flexed, and for a moment Isaac feared she might turn him over to security. But then Zara turned to face the drones, her stance protective. "You will explain your presence here," she demanded, her voice ringing with authority. "I suspect there is more to this than a mere escaped pet." The drones clicked and whirred, their red optical sensors fixed on Sparky. Isaac hugged the little dragon close, fear and confusion swirling inside him. Zara glanced back at Isaac, her eyes narrowing. You will tell me everything you know about these Zixians. I sense a greater threat at play, and I will not allow harm to come to the summit or its delegates. With those words, an unlikely alliance was forged. Isaac, Sparky, and Zara Quickclaw stood together in the dimly lit corridor, facing down the Zixian drones. The mysteries were only just beginning to unravel, and Isaac knew that the path ahead would be fraught with danger. But for now, he clung to the small hope that he had found an ally in the formidable Leonix ambassador. Together, they would uncover the truth behind the Zixian infiltrators and the threat that loomed over the galaxy. Isaac only prayed that they could keep Sparky's existence a secret from the rest of the delegates, for if they failed, the consequences could be catastrophic. Isaac's heart raced as he faced Ambassador Zara Quickclaw, acutely aware of the Zixian drones hovering nearby. The corridor's dim lighting cast eerie shadows across the metallic bodies of the insectoid creatures, their red optical sensors fixed unwaveringly on Sparky. I can explain, Isaac stammered, his palms sweaty as he clutched his slime-covered dragon. Sparky isn't just a pet. He's part of a breakthrough in genetic engineering. Zara's ears twitched, her golden eyes narrowing. Go on, human child, but choose your words carefully. Isaac took a deep breath, steeling himself. We've created miniature dragons, like Sparky here. They're intelligent, adaptable, and possess unique abilities. But they're not weapons, I swear. The Leonix ambassador's tail swished thoughtfully. Interesting. Perhaps this explains the growing unrest among certain factions. Many fear humanity's rapid advancements. A high-pitched whine suddenly emanated from Sparky. The little dragon's head swiveled, nose twitching. Isaac recognized the behavior. Sparky had caught a scent. He's sensing something, Isaac whispered. I think he can lead us to whoever's behind this. Zara's claws flexed, her gaze darting between Isaac and the drones. After a moment's hesitation, she nodded. Very well. We shall follow your dragon's lead. But know this, human. If you betray me, the consequences will be severe. With Sparky guiding them, Isaac and Zara crept through the winding corridors of the Concord Convention Center. The drones attempted to block their path, but Zara's imposing presence and sharp commands kept them at bay. Eventually, Sparky led them to an abandoned maintenance corridor. The acrid smell of ozone and the low hum of electronics filled the air. Isaac's breath caught in his throat as they stumbled upon a hidden relay station, its banks of servers pulsing with malevolent red light. By the moons of Leonix, Zara hissed, this is no mere infiltration. They're attempting to hack the entire Concord system. Isaac's fingers flew across a nearby terminal, his eyes widening in horror. It's worse than that. This override virus, it could shut down all our defenses. We'd be sitting ducks for an invasion. Before either of them could react further, a piercing screech filled the air. Zixian drones poured into the corridor from hidden alcoves, their metal appendages whirring menacingly. In the chaos, Sparky was wrenched from Isaac's grasp. No! Isaac cried out, struggling against the iron grip of the drones. Beside him, even Zara's formidable strength proved insufficient against the swarm of attackers. A tall, spindly figure emerged from the shadows. Unlike the drones, this Zixian's carapace gleamed with an iridescent sheen, its multifaceted eyes fixed on Isaac with cold intelligence. Ah, the human child and his Leonix ally. The Zixian's voice crackled with artificial undertones. How convenient. I am Zolku, and you have stumbled into a game far beyond your comprehension. Zolku's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. Your little dragon's appearance was an unexpected boon. The chaos it caused among the delegates played perfectly into our plans. And now we shall use it to turn the entire Concord against humanity. Isaac's blood ran cold as Zolku continued, outlining his sinister plot. The Zixian's words painted a nightmarish picture. Concord's defenses neutralized, Earth blamed for the catastrophe, and the planet itself transformed into a staging ground for galactic domination. As for your fascinating pet, Zolku's gaze shifted to Sparky, who squirmed in a drone's grasp. It will make an excellent addition to our bioweapons program. Once we've dissected and reverse-engineered its capabilities, of course. Isaac's mind raced, searching desperately for a way out. But surrounded by drones, with Zara subdued and Sparky captured, hope seemed to slip away like sand through his fingers. Then, in a blinding flash, everything changed. Sparky's body convulsed, emitting a burst of crackling energy. The drones holding him short-circuited, their limbs twitching uselessly. In the momentary confusion, Isaac felt the grip on his arms loosen. He didn't hesitate. With a sharp elbow to the nearest drone's optical sensor, Isaac broke free. Across from him, Zara capitalized on the distraction, her powerful legs coiling before she launched herself at her captors. The maintenance corridor erupted into chaos. Laser fire sizzled through the air as Zara produced a sleek pistol from a hidden holster. Her movements were a blur, each shot finding its mark with deadly precision. "The terminal!" Zara shouted over the din of battle. "Purge the virus, human! I'll hold them off!" Isaac dove for the computer, his fingers flying across the keyboard. Lines of code scrolled past in a dizzying blur as he fought to undo Zolku's insidious programming. A shrill cry caught his attention. Looking up, Isaac saw Sparky zip into a ventilation duct. For a heart-stopping moment, he feared his dragon had abandoned them. But then, impossibly, Isaac felt a familiar presence in his mind. Sparky was guiding him, somehow interfacing directly with the Concord systems. Each burst of electromagnetic energy from the dragon cleared another firewall, giving Isaac the openings he needed to expunge the virus. Through the firefight, Isaac caught glimpses of Zolku retreating. The Zixian leader's iridescent carapace reflected the chaos as he fled deeper into the station. "He's escaping!" Isaac called out to Zara, "heading for the shuttle bay." The Leonix ambassador's eyes narrowed. With a final, precise shot that dropped 2 drones, she turned to Isaac. "Finish purging the system. I'll pursue the Zixian." As Zara's footsteps faded, Isaac refocused on the terminal. With Sparky's otherworldly assistance, he dove back into the digital battleground. The fate of Concord, and perhaps the entire galaxy, hung in the balance. In the distance, the muffled sound of a firefight echoed through the station's corridors. Isaac's heart raced, knowing that somewhere in the vast complex, Zara was locked in a deadly confrontation with Zolku. The final firewalls fell. Isaac's fingers trembled as he input the last command sequence. A wave of relief washed over him as confirmation flashed across the screen. The virus was purged, Concord's defenses restored. But there was no time to celebrate. Isaac scooped up Sparky, who had emerged from the vents, and sprinted towards the shuttle bay. Whatever was happening between Zara and Zolku, he knew the confrontation was just getting started. Isaac's fingers flew across the terminal, his mind racing in sync with Sparky's alien presence. As the last firewall crumbled, a surge of triumph coursed through him. The virus was purged, Concord's defenses restored. He snatched up Sparky and sprinted towards the shuttle bay, heart pounding. The corridors blurred past, emergency lights casting eerie shadows. Distant explosions reverberated through the station's superstructure. Isaac skidded to a halt at the bay's entrance, his eyes widening at the scene before him. Zara stood tall, her fur singed and matted with blood, facing down Zolku and a squad of elite Zixian troops. Laser fire sizzled through the air, scorching metal and flesh alike. "The virus is neutralized," Isaac shouted, ducking behind a cargo crate. "Concord's systems are back online." Zara's ears twitched, but she didn't dare take her eyes off Zolku. "Well done, human. Now get to the command center and warn them of the impending attack." Isaac hesitated, torn between fleeing to safety and staying to help. Sparky made the decision for him, launching from his arms and streaking towards the Zixians. The little dragon's body crackled with electromagnetic energy, shorting out the nearest drones in a shower of sparks. Seizing the moment of confusion, Isaac dashed for a nearby console. His fingers danced across the interface, patching into Concord's defense grid. "This is Isaac Chen, Zixian fleet inbound. Prepare for immediate assault." The words had barely left his mouth when alarms blared throughout the station. Overhead, a computerized voice intoned, "Alert! Multiple hostile signatures detected. All personnel to battle stations. Through the bay's sprawling viewport, Isaac watched in horror as the first wave of Zixian ships emerged from the void. Their biomechanical forms writhed against the starfield, weapons already charging. A blinding flash erupted as Concord's orbital platforms unleashed their fury. Antimatter warheads blossomed into miniature suns, vaporizing the lead elements of the Zixian armada. But more enemy vessels poured from the asteroid belt, an endless tide of alien metal and chitinous armor. "It's too late," Zolku's artificial voice crackled with triumph. "Your pitiful defenses cannot hope to—" The Zixian leader's words cut off in a shriek of pain and surprise. Zara had used the distraction to close the distance, her claws raking across Zolku's carapace. Iridescent ichor spilled onto the deck as the two grappled in mortal combat. Isaac tore his eyes from the battle, focusing on the console. He routed tactical data to the defenders, his mind working in overdrive. Sparky zipped back and forth, his bioelectric field disrupting Zixian targeting systems and buying precious seconds for the Allied ships. A new signature appeared on the sensors, a massive Leonix battle group led by a colossal dreadnought. Their weapons blazed to life, carving swaths of destruction through the Zixian fleet. "Reinforcements!" Isaac cried out in relief. "Commander Drakbane's forces have arrived." But even as hope surged, Isaac knew the battle was far from won. The Zixians pressed forward relentlessly, their numbers seemingly infinite. On the station, panicked crowds of delegates rushed for escape pods and emergency shelters. Isaac's fingers flew across the console, coordinating evacuation efforts and defense strategies. He glanced up just in time to see Zara deliver a crushing blow to Zolku's head, sending the Zixian leader crumpling to the deck. Before either of them could celebrate, a violent tremor shook the station. Warning klaxons blared as the Zixian push breached the outer defense grid. Swarms of lander craft descended towards the planet's surface, their chitinous hulls gleaming with malevolent purpose. Isaac met Zara's eyes across the chaotic shuttle bay, a silent understanding passing between them. The battle for Concord had only just begun, and the fate of the stars hung in the balance. The station shuddered as another volley of Zixian fire found its mark. Isaac gripped the console, struggling to maintain his balance as the deck plates vibrated beneath his feet. Through the viewport, he watched in horror as the Concorde's outer defenses crumbled under the relentless alien assault. "We can't hold them off much longer," Zara shouted, her fur matted with blood and debris. She fired her pistol in rapid succession, dropping 3 more Zixian drones that had breached the shuttle bay. Isaac's mind raced, searching for a solution. His eyes fell on the emergency evacuation protocols flashing across his terminal. "We need to get everyone off the station," he said, fingers flying across the interface. "I'm initiating a full evacuation to the Arc ships." As if in response to his words, Admiral Halcyon's voice crackled over the station-wide comm system. "All personnel and delegates, proceed immediately to your designated evacuation points. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill." The shuttle bay erupted into chaos as panicked diplomats and staff members poured in from adjoining corridors. Isaac worked feverishly to coordinate the evacuation efforts, matching escape pods to the waiting Arc ships. Sparky zipped through the air, using his bioelectric field to short out any Zixian drones that slipped past Zara's defenses. The little dragon's presence was a constant comfort in Isaac's mind, an anchor in the sea of pandemonium. A massive explosion rocked the station, nearly knocking Isaac off his feet. Warning klaxons blared as the artificial gravity fluctuated. Through the viewports, he saw chunks of the station's superstructure breaking apart, drifting into the void. "Isaac," Zara called out, her voice strained. "We need to go now." He looked up to see the Leonix ambassador limping towards him, one arm clutched to her side. A nasty burn mark marred her sleek fur, evidence of a close call with Zixian weaponry. Isaac nodded, scooping Sparky into his arms. They sprinted for the last remaining shuttle, dodging fleeing diplomats and sparking debris. As they reached the hatch, a familiar chitinous form blocked their path. Zolku's multifaceted eyes gleamed with malevolent intelligence. "You may have thwarted my plans here, but this is not nearly finished. the Zixian leader hissed. Before either Isaac or Zara could react, Sparky unleashed a concentrated burst of electromagnetic energy. Zolku's cybernetic implants sizzled and popped, sending the alien reeling backwards. They didn't waste the opportunity. Isaac and Zara dove into the shuttle, sealing the hatch behind them. Within moments, they were hurtling away from the dying station, joining the ragtag fleet of Orc ships, fleeing into the inky void of space. As Concorde receded in the distance, Isaac felt a hollowness in his chest. He watched the station, a symbol of interstellar cooperation and humanity's first steps onto the galactic stage, crumble under the Zixian onslaught. "What have I done?" he whispered, the weight of his actions crashing down upon him. Zara placed a comforting paw on his shoulder. "You saved countless lives today, Isaac. Remember that." Their shuttle docked with the Exodus, the flagship of the human Orc ship fleet. As they disembarked, Isaac was struck by the somber atmosphere permeating the vessel. Shell-shocked refugees from dozens of species huddled in corridors, their faces etched with grief and uncertainty. Admiral Halcyon met them at the airlock, his weathered features grave. "We've suffered heavy losses," he said without preamble, "but thanks to your actions, we managed to evacuate a significant portion of the Concorde's population." Isaac nodded numbly, still processing the magnitude of what had transpired. He followed the Admiral to the bridge, Zara and Sparky close behind. Through the Exodus panoramic viewports, the full extent of the devastation became clear. Concorde Prime hung in space like a broken jewel, its once pristine surface scarred by Zixian bombardment. Fires raged across entire continents, visible even from orbit. The Zixian fleet swarmed around the planet, their biomechanical ships a stark contrast to the elegant lines of Concorde's architecture. "What's our next move, Admiral?" Zara asked, her voice tight with pain. Isaac realized she was still favoring her injured side. Halcyon's expression darkened. "We run. We find a new home, somewhere beyond the Zixians' reach. It's all we can do now." As if to punctuate his words, proximity alarms suddenly blared throughout the ship. Isaac's heart sank as he saw a massive Zixian hive ship emerge from behind Concorde's shattered moon, its weapons already charging. "All hands, battle stations," Halcyon barked. "Prepare for emergency slipstream jump." Isaac felt a chill run down his spine as he realized their ordeal was not nearly finished. With Sparky curled protectively in his arms, and Zara standing tall beside him, he steeled himself for whatever challenges lay ahead in the vast, uncharted reaches of the galaxy.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.